কি অবস্থা কালকের Okay, good morning and welcome to my last class for the level 1 semester 2. And thank you all of you for enjoying a nice cultural evening yesterday. And thank you, special thanks to our foreign students. I think they provided 2 documentaries, one from Malaysia and another from Nepal. And I think you will continue this. Best luck for the future. And now I would like to my today's topic, urinary bladder and urethra. You know what is urinary bladder? It's a bladder of bladder means a sac. Of course, it is a sac, but it is a muscular sac. It is composed of only muscle, and that is the smooth muscle. Urinary bladder is a muscular sac for the temporary storage of urine. You know, it is the temporary storage because when it is filled, the urine comes out through the urethra. So this is a temporary storage, and it is pear-shaped in cattle and oval-shaped in buffalo. Somehow pear-shaped. Pear means nashpati in Bengali. So where it is located? It is located on the floor of the pelvic cavity. That is the thing. It is located on the floor of the pelvic cavity. That is the thing. So it is projected to the abdominal cavity in distended condition. So somehow, when it is full with urine, it may be extended or distended and extends up into the abdominal cavity. So you know the abdominal cavity, and caudal to the abdominal cavity is the pelvic cavity. So it is usually located to the floor of the pelvic cavity, but when it is distended with urine or when it is full of urine, then it is extended cranially and into the abdominal cavity. That's why, so the usual answer, if anybody asks you in the Viva, please state the location of urinary bladder, then it is, of course, you have to answer that it is in the pelvic cavity. So when it is, then ask when it is located in the abdominal cavity, when it comes extended into the abdominal cavity, then you have to answer that when it is full of urine, then it is extended into the abdominal cavity. And it consists of 3 parts. That is important. Sometimes we ask in the Viva, what are the different parts of the urinary bladder? That is the apex, and then is the body, and is the neck. And urachus, that is what is urachus? Urachus, cicatricial tissue. Urachus is the cicatricial tissue. That means that was once during fetus, but after delivery or after when the fetus is growing, then it is just like a remnant, avashishtangsho. The cicatricial tissue found in the apex connected to the umbilicus by umbilical ligament. That means urinary bladder, apex of the urinary bladder is attached to the umbilicus by a ligament in the embryo. There is umbilical ligament, and this ligament afterward form a cicatricial tissue. That cicatricial tissue is known as urachus. Then I will show you in the next slide what is the urachus, and it is the remnant of umbilical ligament. Actually, the body is rounded. How is the body? Body of the urinary is rounded almost, and dorso-ventrally compressed. Compressed means chapa. Dorsally and ventrally it is compressed. And in the male, it is related to the rectum, ductus deferens, and seminal vesicle. Urinary bladder, it is close to the rectum, ductus deferens, and seminal vesicle in male. But in the female, dorsal surface is related to the ventral surface of uterus and vagina. What are the organs? Urinary bladder is related with the uterus and vagina in female. But in case of male, you know the structures. What are the structures related to the urinary bladder? These are the structures. So that is the thing. There is the brief information about the urinary bladder. Now I will go and we have a look in the next slide for how it looks, a pictorial view, so that we can understand what is the neck, body, and your apex, body, and neck. Just a quick. So you see, this is the urinary bladder, and this part is the apex. This part is the apex, and this part is the neck, and this part is the body. So body, this is the apex, and this is the neck of the urinary bladder. So these are the things. You see, it is related to the various things, various organs. Here is the hearing, you see different accessory glands you will find in the neck. So male accessory glands you will find here. And the apex, I show you just here, what is the and the apex, you will find some like this. When you will see the specimen, you will find this portion like little bit pointed apex. And this portion, this is the fold of ligament. This is the remnant. And this portion is called urethus. And in my last slides, I told about urethus, and it is the remnant of a ligament, that is umbilical ligament in fetus. But after birth, you will find only this some folded area in the apex, like this. And this is called urethus. And this part is the neck, and this is the body, and this is the neck of the urinary bladder. So this is the thing, and in male and female, it is related. This urinary bladder, it has related with various organs. In case of female, it is uterus and vagina. There is uterus and vagina close to this. So you will find uterus and vagina close to this. But in case of male, you will find ductus deferens, rectum, as well as seminal vesicle. You will find the seminal vesicle just in the neck of the bladder. So that's why it is related to the various organs in male and female. So this is the information. Just another thing I want to discuss you, that from the neck of the bladder, a tube started and it is going and it is entering into the penis, and ultimately it is coming out. That's why this is the urethra. Ultimately, this is the urethra, and urethra is starting from the neck of the urinary bladder, and it is very long. Urethra in male is very long. So it has, in case of urethra, I discussed this thing there, it has two parts. One part is up to here, it is in the pelvic part, and one part, and the other part is within the penis. That is called penile part, or extra pelvic. Extra means outside. So urethra has two parts. Up to this is the pelvic part, and this is the extra pelvic part, or it is within the penis. That's why it is called penile part. So urethra in male has two parts, but urethra in female, it is very short and wide. I'll show you in another slide. So from the urinary bladder, urethra is starting. Okay, I go to the next slide. So here is the female, just to show the relationship of the urinary bladder and urethra. And here you see this total part is the uterus, and this is the whole part is the vagina. So here is the urinary bladder. It is located just ventrolateral to the vagina. And this is the urinary bladder. So urinary bladder, and it is related to these two organs because it is extending, and just we show the location here. And there is a blind here, very important in case of female, there is a blind pouch. I will discuss about this suburethral diversion. So from the neck of urinary bladder, it is just here, and it is opening is here. So urethra is opening, This is the urethra, short tube, and it is opening in the floor of the vagina. This is vagina because this is all is the vagina. So urinary bladder, and then is the short tube, and it is opening shortly in the floor of the vagina. So this is the thing. The urinary bladder is opening just ventrally, just here in the vagina. And and the vagina has two parts, and I'll discuss here. And this part is called vagina proper, and this is the vestibule, vaginal vestibule, vestibule. So in the vaginal vestibule, so vagina has two parts. This is the vagina proper, P, and vaginal vestibule. In between two is the orifice of the urethra. This is the orifice is the demarcation between proper, vagina proper and vaginal vestibule. Inside is the vagina proper, and the outer part is the vaginal vestibule. So this is the cranial part is the proper, and caudal part is the vestibule. So if you find the orifice here, then is the inside is the cranial part is the vagina proper, and caudal part is the vaginal vestibule. And you know the vestibular glands are located here. You will find many vestibular glands. So this is the urinary bladder. And very important point is the blind pouch. This is if starts urethra here, then there is a diverticulum. It is a pouch. It is a evagination or something like that. And this is the blind pouch, and this is it is called suburethral diverticulum. Suburethral. This blind pouch is known as suburethral diverticulum. Suburethral diverticulum. Very important, because when you will go for insemination, artificial insemination, suppose how, then when we push the straw, if we push the straw like straight, then it will touch here. But that's why when you want to inseminate, your direction of straw will be like oblique, so that you can reach little bit oblique, so that you can reach here. You can deposit semen here. So you know the artificial insemination. The inseminator comes with, and then he take out a straw where semen is loaded. Then he puts this straw inside, and that's why if the direction of the straw just parallel, then there is a chance to insert it into the diverticulum. Or if the direction is like low, then there is a chance to insert the diverticulum. So that's why, to avoid this, always direction is little bit oblique, so that it can pass and go up to the uterus, cervix of the uterus. So that is the thing. That's why it is important. Sometimes you have to take care that there is a suburethral diverticulum in cow. So this is clinical importance. Sometimes in future you will find it is very important for artificial inseminator, because sometimes if he or she doesn't know about the suburethral diverticulum and push just a little bit ventral, then it will touch the double, and it may fire the suburethral diverticulum. So the direction of the straw will be little bit oblique, 45-degree oblique, so that it just go and enter into the cervix. So that is the thing. I go to the next slide. That is the urinary bladder is related with the male and female. That is the thing. So what are the ligaments of the urinary bladder? You will find two different ligaments. One is the lateral ligaments, or lateral, sometimes it is called round ligaments. So suppose this is urinary bladder somehow, and here is the urethus. You see here this is the urethus, and there is a ligament. Ligament, that means for the attachment of bladder to the floor of the pelvis, because there is an attachment. Here is one, here is one. There is a ligament to attach this bladder to the pelvis. That's why this is called lateral ligament. Or this ligament is somewhat folded, and when it is folded, it looks like round. That's why it is called round ligament. Sometimes lateral ligament also known as round ligament. So two lateral ligaments, and another is the ventral to the urinary bladder. Ventral, there is in the middle, there is another ligament, and that is called ventral ligament. So that's two kinds of ligament, two lateral ligaments, but ventral ligament is single. And these ligaments are the umbilical arteries, remnant of umbilical arteries. In fetal circulation, I discussed about this. And it will be, these are, once it was in the fetus, it was umbilical arteries, these ligaments. That is the thing. Anyway, so these are the ligaments of the urinary bladder. Sometimes we ask in the fibrosity, what are the ligaments of the urinary bladder? And what it happens, it connects the lateral aspect of the bladder to the floor of the pelvis, lateral part of the bladder. It connects the ventral ligament, connects the ventral surface of the bladder with the floor of the pelvis. That is the thing. So this is the ligaments of the bladder. And I go to the next slide is the urethra. So urethra is a thin wall tube. It is a thin wall tube. And it is the final passage way of urine out of the bladder. And it is the final passage because urinary bladder is this temporary storage of urine. And it is the final means terminal passage. Passage is the way, passageway for urine to come out from the bladder. In the female, it is relatively shorter and wider. I already discussed about this, that in the female, it is shorter and wider and extends from the neck of the bladder to the floor of the vagina. And you know, it is extends from the neck of the bladder, I showed in the last slide, and it is opens into the floor of the vagina. And in the male, it is longer, of course, longer and narrower. In the male and female, what is the differences between urethra? It is shorter and wider, but in the female, it is longer and narrower, too much long because it comes out entire length of the penis. So extends from the neck of the glans penis, from the neck to the glans penis. You know, the terminal part of the penis is the glans penis, and there is an opening here in the glans penis. So up to glans penis, terminal opening of the glans penis, the urethra extending from the neck of the bladder to the glans penis. And here is information about the suburethral diverticulum. It's a blind sac situated below the level of tuber STI. That means tuber STI is a bone. You know the tuber, steatic tuber. Just below the steatic tuber, this is the diverticulum of urethra, you will find. That is the position related to the bone. This structure consider anatomical barrier catheterization. It is catheterization, it is a barrier. So please take care if you want to catheterize in animals, or if you want to go for insemination, you have to take care of this so that you are inserting something, but it should not go to the suburethral diverticulum. So during catheterization or artificial insemination, you have to take care of suburethral diverticulum. This structure it is present in buffalo, cattle, sow only. It is in cattle, buffalo, and sow. You will find this sort of diverticulum, not in other animals. So this is the thing. So this is all about the urethra. So in the question, you may find question like this, right short roots on urethra, male urethra, or usually urethra, or right short roots on urinary bladder, or describe the urinary bladder of bull or any animal, just for example. And you may be asked in the Bible, what is urinary bladder, where it is located, what are the different parts of the urinary bladder, and what are the ligaments of the bladder. And what about the urethra? What is the difference between urethra of male and female? Please note down what I am telling you, because you will be asked or in the Bible this sort of a question. Then you have to answer, and everything is in my presentation, so that it is how and where it starts and where it opens. In the male, it starts from where, and always the urethra starts from neck, and it is extending up to the floor of the vagina in female, but it is extending up to the glans penis in case of male. So this is the thing. And urethra has a diverticulum, special structure in case of cattle, buffalo, and so that is this. It is a diverticulum. It is like an urethral diverticulum, and it is located below urethra. That's why it is sub means below, suburethral diverticulum, and it is important for catheterization. So if you want to in case of any obstruction in the urethra, suppose the urine is not coming, so you have to go for catheterization. So during catheter, you have to take care about the suburethral diverticulum so that it is not puncturing the suburethral diverticulum. So that is the thing, and this is very short lecture today because I am ending my classes with this today's presentation. So I go back again and we'll discuss again our few of the sorry. So just a quick
Sir, cicatrical tissue একটু বাংলায় বলতেন যদি এটা বুঝিনি।
Cicatrical tissue হলো অবশিষ্টাংশ, বুঝো নাই? একটা জিনিস ছিল জন্মের সময়, সেটার একটা অবশিষ্টাংশ রয়ে গেছে, বুঝো নাই? যেমন আমাদের সরি টেলিফোন হ্যালো hello, sorry, I have an emergency call. Urinary bladder, and again, I mean, just a quick review. Urinary bladder is a muscular sac. You have seen that it is a sac-like organ, and it is a muscular sac. It is composed of muscle. It is a muscular sac for this temporary, and it is located in the floor of the pelvic cavity, and it is always located in the pelvic cavity in cushion, but that is empty condition. But it may be extended up into the abdominal cavity cranially when it is full of urine. So it consists of three parts: apex, body, and neck. I showed in the picture that it is three parts. And urachus is the remnant of umbilical ligament. It is located in the apex of the urinary bladder. You will find this little bit pointed portion of the ligament. That is the thing. The body is rounded and dorsopetally compressed. And in the male, it is related to these organs. And in the female, it is related to uterus and vagina. That is the thing. Brief discussion about the urinary bladder. So I go to the next slide. Here is the urinary bladder, and this is the apex. Sorry. And this is the apex, apical part, and this is the neck of the urinary bladder, and in between two is the body. So this is the thing. And and the next, from the neck of the bladder, a tube is starting, and it is the urethra. This is male urethra, of course. It is longer and narrower. That is the thing, and it has two parts. That is pelvic part, and this is the extra pelvic, that is penile part. That is the thing. So this is the urethra and urinary bladder. We go to the next slide, maybe it will be better.
Sir?
Please. বলো।
স্যার ইউরেথ্রা ইন মেলের ক্ষেত্রে ইউরেথ্রা ইউরিন এবং সিমেন এক্সক্রিয়েটের একটা কমন প্যাসেজ, কিন্তু স্যার এই ছবিতে কি সেটা বোঝা যাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ, কেন এখন এখানে তো আর তোমাদেরকে মানে পুরা জিনিসটাকে দেখানো হয় নাই। আসলে এইখানে আরেকটা জিনিস আমি একটু ড্র করে এখন একটু বোঝাচ্ছি এই কোশ্চেন আনসার দেওয়ার জন্য। এইখানে আছে সাপোজ স্ক্রুটাম, ধরো এখানে আছে স্ক্রুটাম, এইখান থেকে যে একটা ডাক্টাস ডিফারেন্স আসে, সরি ডাক্টাস ডিফারেন্স, এবং এই ডাক্টাস ডিফারেন্স কিন্তু নিয়ে আসতেছে সিমেন স্পারমাটোজোয়া, এবং এইটা আইসে কিন্তু ওপেন করতেছে এই যে নেক অফ দি ব্লাডারে, বুঝতে পারছো? এবং এইখান থেকে যখন এইখানে মানে ইউরেথ্রাতে ওপেন করতেছে, বুঝতে পারছো? আর ডাক্টাস ডিফারেন্স তার মানে ইউরিন আসতেছে এই দিক দিয়ে, আবার এই ডাক্টাস ডিফারেন্স দিয়ে আসতেছে সিমেন, তাহলে সিমেন এবং ইউরিন দুইটাই পাস করতেছে। কিন্তু ফিমেলের ক্ষেত্রে তোমরা দেখছো লোকেশনটা ইউরিনারি ব্লাডারের, এটা ফ্লোর অফ দি ভ্যাজাইনাতে ওপেন করতেছে। সুতরাং দ্যাট ইজ দি ডিফারেন্স, যে মেলের ক্ষেত্রে সিমেন এবং ইউরিন দুইটাই ইউরেথ্রাতে পাস করে, বাট ইন কেস অফ অনলি ইউরিন ফিমেলের ক্ষেত্রে। দ্যাট ইজ দি থিং। আমার মনে হয় যে আনসারটা ক্লিয়ার।
ইয়েস স্যার, থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
অবশ্য মেল জেনিটাল সিস্টেম ফিমেল পড়ানোর সময় এটা জাস্ট রিলেশনটা দেখানো আর কি, যে ব্লাডার কোথায় এবং ইউরেথ্রাটা কোথায় ওপেন করে। আমি ড্রয়িং করে তোমাদেরকে বোঝানোর চেষ্টা করছি যে ইট ইজ ওপেনিং ইনটু দ্য ফ্লোর অফ দ্য ভ্যাজাইনা, দ্যাট ইজ হিয়ার সাপোজ, এন্ড ইন দ্য ভেন্ট্রালি there is a duct here, short duct but wide duct, this is here, and there is a diverticulum of urethra, and that is the suburethral diverticulum is here. So that is the thing, and this is the demarcation of vagina proper, this is the vestibule, and this is the proper, and this is, demarcation is the orifice of the urethra, that is the infimale. So that is the thing that, so I go to the next slide. Connects to the, what are the ligaments? I have already discussed the lateral or round ligaments and ventral ligaments. Lateral part ke ekta connect kore, আর একটা হচ্ছে ventral part ke connect করে, floor of the pelvis এর সাথে, that is the thing. So next slide, that is urethra. And urethra is a thin wall tube. It is the final passage, and in female it is shorter, wider from the neck of the bladder, floor of the vagina, and it is longer, narrower. It has two pelvic and penile parts. I have longer means it has two parts. I have penile part is also known as extra pelvic part. So it has two parts, pelvic part and extra pelvic part, or penile part. Extra pelvic part is within the penis. That's why it is called penile part. Suburethral diverticulum I have already discussed, and that's all for today. If you have any question, please. এই আজকের ক্লাসে
স্যার
ক্যাথেটারাইজেশন হচ্ছে যখন মনে করো ব্লাডারে স্টোন হইল, ব্লাডার মানে ইউরেথ্রার মুখে স্টোন হয়ে গেছে, তখন ইউরিন আসতে পারতেছে না, এবং তোমরা যে আমাদের যে ছাগলের ক্যাস্ট্রেটেড গুটের মধ্যে কিন্তু এটা অনেক কমন, দেখবা যে ব্লাডার ফুলে গেছে, প্রস্রাব হচ্ছে না, তখন ক্যাথেটারাইজেশন মানে ক্যাথেটার পাস করে ইউরিনটা বের করা হয়, একটা ক্যাথেটার পাস করা হয়। কিন্তু ক্যাথেটার পাস করাইতে গেলে ফিমেল অ্যানিমেল হইলে আমাদের একটু খেয়াল রাখতে হবে যে এটা যদি ফিমেল কাউ হয় অথবা বাফেলো হয়, সেই ক্ষেত্রে কিন্তু সাবইউরেথ্রাল একটা ডাইভার্টিকুলাম আছে, সুতরাং কেয়ারফুলি আমাদেরকে ব্লাডারে ঢুকাইতে হবে। এই হচ্ছে কথা, বুঝতে পারছো?
জি স্যার, বুঝছি স্যার।
So any question, any more question? আজকে যেহেতু তোমাদের অনেকেরই অনেক নির্বাচন আছে, অনেক কালকে বিশাল একটা প্রোগ্রাম করছো তোমরা, যদি কোনো কোশ্চেন না থাকে আমি এখানেই শেষ করব, এবং with the today's class I am ending. Best luck for you.
জি স্যার, আমাদের নির্বাচন।
থ্যাংক ইউ স্যার।
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার।
Walaikum salam.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Salam.